Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timeline and go beyond the tweets. I'm your host, Los Def, and I'm back here for episode 153. And if you're new to the channel, I need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to chime in and talk, have a conversation, leave a comment. If you know somebody that might enjoy some of this content, then hit that share and help the channel grow. Help the channel grow. We are growing though, exponentially. You know what I mean? I think we had like 1.25K. You know what I mean? So moving up a little bit, using some AI tools to kind of, help streamline the process. Trying to, I'm learning from Levi, man. I'm learning from my boy. And we're getting shit done, man. We're experimenting, and we're just trying to get the product to a whole nother level. I'm excited though, man. This week, I'm gonna try to make this episode somewhat short, because I'm about to go on a little getaway, a little mini vacation throughout the week, and I just knew that I had to get something out, or we weren't gonna have an episode at all this week. So, because I'm working double time too, right? Because if y'all don't know, I have another podcast, right, with my boy Levi McCurdy, and it's the Recap and Record podcast. And our focus for this season, this is season 4 of our show. Our focus this season is House of the Dragon, right? House of the Dragon, season 2 of House of the Dragon. And that's where we started. That's how Recap and Record started. We was like, yo, we want to talk about our favorite shows. And we want to pick shows that are like really good. So we started out with House of the Dragon 2 years ago. And then last year we experimented. We did a couple dating shows, right? I think we did Love is Blind season 5, which was the worst season that they've ever made. And then we tried to do F-Boy Island season 3, which was the worst season that they probably ever made. So we decided, we was like, yo, we not fucking with these dating shows for recaps. Like, it's fun, but it's messy, and it's hard to kind of manage, and everybody's not necessarily watching those shows. Everybody who's anybody watches Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. So we're back to our bread and butter. And then we are excited because they announced that, they got that other spinoff series that's going to come in the beginning of 2025. I think it's something about the Hedge Knight. It's something about a knight in that one. So we're excited that we have some built up content. And we premiered. I just got off the recording with Levi. We just recorded episode 1. Episode 1 for Recap and Record should be out Monday, and this should be out in the middle of the week. This episode of 280 Plus. But yeah, so catch that if you watch House of the Dragon, and you don't have anybody to talk to about House of the Dragon. Check out our recap show. I think we do a really good job just with the insights, just with the commentary, and we're gonna keep you focused, and we're gonna give you some insights that you may not even understand or realize, because we do research, man. We dig into this stuff, and we're passionate about it. So check out season 4 of Recap and Record, where we're covering House of the Dragon, and I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it though. So but this episode, man, we got a little bit of sports, maybe a little headline or two, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about Father's Day. All right, so let's get started, man, because again, I wanna kind of get in and get out and give y'all something, and let's move on. So Father's Day, man, Father's Day 2024, Father's Day, man. It is still one of the least celebrated holidays. I seen this funny comedy bit where this guy was talking about the celebrated holiday in the world, right? And I think they said I think it said Father's Day is like 18th out of 20 of the most celebrated holidays of the world. So then this comedian was talking about, like, yo, y'all realize like Halloween is number 6, Christmas is number 1, Mother's Day is number 2, Halloween is number 6. So it's like, yeah, like, ghosts and goblins and stuff like that. That's more important than dads. They say like Arbor Day, is like number 16. So like Arbor Day is like more important. That's about like saving trees, I believe. Like that's more important than Father's Day. So like just like any other year, fathers, we don't get the love. We don't always get the love that we probably deserve because fathers, man, like fathers are game changers. I mean, mothers, you can almost guarantee that they're going to be there. You know what I'm saying? But when a father is in the picture, it's a game changer. It's a game changer for everybody. So it doesn't matter. It's fathers are highly beneficial for sons, of course, but like they matter for little girls too. I mean, like the daughters need their fathers as well. So shout out to all the fathers that got some love, that got to celebrate. Uh, Social media has those times, and maybe is I don't know if this is like I wonder if this is like a black Twitter thing or if this is like black social media algorithms. But like we always get you get those one or two women that seem a little bit bitter and they want to get credit for being both roles, right? So they celebrate themselves. I didn't see too much of that though. I don't think I seen any of that, but I did see a lot of people talking like, "Hey, y'all better not do that. Y'all better not do that." Which, shout out to y'all, man, for holding the front lines when it comes to protecting fathers and the sanctity of fatherhood and the importance of it, and also trying to like tamp down on like the negativity where it's like, yeah, 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 save that for another time. This not y'all, it's not y'all time. So shout out to everybody that kind of chimed in for that. I had a great Father's Day. My son, man, he got me all types of candy that I like. And like this boy, he was you should have seen his face when I was like opening up this little gift bag with all these candies. He had all these different candy bars that I like. And he's like, "Yeah, I know you, Dad. I know what you like. I know what you like." And and just seeing his face, man, it was so sweet. Seeing the card that he wrote for me and the message that was in it, it brought a tear to my eye, man. And it was beautiful. Went to Red Lobster yesterday, and that was another thing. He was like, "Yo, Dad, I remember you talked about that on the podcast that they're going out of business. They're going out of business." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, they did file for bankruptcy, obviously there's some technicalities when it comes to that, but I mean, just the thought, man. Like, and I had the extra pride. Like, if y'all don't know, I live literally 1 minute away from a Red Lobster. Like I leave out my complex, make two little turns, and it's like there's a shopping center that's literally right behind my house. And so I pull out of my complex, I make a little left, I make a left into the shopping center, and Red Lobster's right there. So it wasn't even no travel. Made reservations, so like, didn't have to wait. Even though a lot of times you don't gotta make reservations for Father's Day. Like, it ain't too you can go into some restaurants and get seated pretty easily. But yeah, it was a good day. I got my feet done. You know what I mean? Got a little pedicure, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm beach ready because that's where I'm about to go. Right after I'm done recording this, I'm headed to the beach. So yeah, man. So my feet is beach ready. And it was a good day, man. So shout out to all fathers, man. All fathers, because even the fathers that aren't involved, you know what I mean? It's not good that you're not involved, but like you are a big lesson to your kids. You know what I mean? And hopefully, because our biggest teachers are not just the people that live by example, but it's the people that are bad examples of things. You are your child's greatest teachers, and hopefully, um, now those kids, they might harbor some hate, they might harbor some hard feelings, but hopefully, your children step up and learn from what you didn't do to be a better father. Because I even though I have a great father, man, and I didn't. And it's funny because he's actually celebrating on Monday because he was busy. I hollered at my dad. He was doing all the type of stuff, and he wanted to do a big thing on Monday. And I was like, Dad, I'm headed out of town, man, headed to the beach. So I'm gonna have to run it back with my father next week. But I didn't even post. I didn't post nothing this year for Father's Day because I know what I do, man. I know what I do. I know the impact that I have on my child. And I didn't need the fanfare this year, but it was good that I did see a lot of positive. I saw mostly positivity this year for Father's Day. So shout out to the mothers that are giving their giving their husbands and boyfriends and baby fathers, shout out to them for showing some respect and giving some love. And shout out to all the dads that did something with their child yesterday or on Father's Day. And keep doing what you're doing, man, because you matter. You matter a lot. So moving on. So yeah, man, this week, man, so NBA Finals. Let's talk about the NBA Finals real quick. So as of this recording, game 5 has not been played yet. I'm gonna predict that this ends game 5. Game 5. So game 4 was a major disappointment. It was exciting because it was a lot of anticipation. It was like, yo, we're gonna get a sweep. Are we gonna get a sweep? Because Dallas had chances to they had a chance to win game 2. You know what I mean? They definitely had a chance to win game 3, even though Luca fouled out. And game 4 was we got a totally different Mavericks team, and we got a totally different Celtics team. So the Celtics were kind of doing what the Mavericks were doing bad, and they were missing shots. You know what I mean? Stuff wasn't falling for them. So I noticed that Jaylen Brown was holding the ball a lot more in game 4. Jason Tatum is trying to go ISO and trying to, play hero ball a little bit more. When they were down by like 15, it was like instead of trying to chip away at the lead and play good defense, they were kind of reverting back to some bad habits, but also some things that Dallas was doing wrong. They started reverting to that. And then Dallas, on the other hand, they stepped it up. They were moving that ball on defense. They were moving on defense. They were really they were like, yo, we're not gonna go out like some suckers. Now, can they come back from the 3-0 deficit? Can they pull off the impossible? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I feel like the Celtics kind of gave up at around halftime. Once that lead got, it was in the 25s. Like once it got to 30, I think they pulled the plug. And it just and I one of my mans we was talking about it. He was like, "Nah, man, you ain't supposed to do that though, man. You ain't supposed to give up. You supposed to, you know what I mean? People paid money to see y'all, and y'all putting people on the bench." And I agree with that sentiment, but at the same time, we've seen this in other finals and where you get some competitive games, but then you get some trade-off blowouts. I mean, you get a team that gets blown out one game, and then they kind of say, all right, let's just, reset, you know what I mean? And let's kind of call it. Let's get some of these bench players, these reserves, let's just get them out there because if we need them, you know, they're 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 a little bit active, right? They're not the most active, but they getting some run, and if we need them, we can pull them back out. And so that's what I think they kind of did in game 4. Game 5 is gonna be it's back in Boston. I do see the Celtics probably pulling it out, and if they can't pull it out game 5, they'll probably win game 6. I don't see this going to 7 games though. I don't see it going to 7 games. If it does go to 7 games, then the whispers of like it being rigged and things like that. I think those whispers grow a little bit louder. But I think Boston is safe, and I think they could pull it out. They gotta play how they've been playing. They got to share the ball. They got to drive, kick, pass, open look, crash the boards, rebound. They got to play like that for them to be successful, and hopefully they get it done Monday night. So when this episode airs, hopefully the Boston Celtics are the NBA champions, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. I'm excited to see. I'm gonna be probably watching that game from the beach, and I'm excited. I'm excited. Moving on. Next topic: sickening the sports. Man, yo, boxing. Let's get into boxing real quick. So I ain't gonna lie, man. The boxing world has done us well in 2024, man. Like I feel like every week or every other week we've gotten a card. We've gotten a decent fight card, starting back from like Haney and Garcia. We had, that was good. Then I remember, we got the Fury versus Usyk, right? And we got the upset win there. We had Canelo had a fight, which was pretty much, we knew that Canelo was gonna win that. We had the Wilder getting knocked out. and probably the end of his career. And then leading up into this next fight, which was Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin. So the odds had it. I think they wanted a a knockout by the sixth round. I think Tank might have said, I don't know for sure. He might have predicted the eighth round knockout, which that's what we got. We got the eighth round knockout. But I gotta say, man, Martin, um, well, let's backtrack. So Davis, man, the mind games, yo. Davis is he's coming into his own for sure. Like he's really coming into his own, and he's becoming like, he's talking the talk. He's talking the talk and walking the walk, and he's really carrying himself like a champion to the point where he's intimidating his opponents, right? Like y'all seen that one clip where Davis like flinched at it, like he jumped at him, and Frank Martin flinched, and it's crazy because people was like, "Yo, he's just gathering data. He's just gathering data." Like he just realized, like, "Oh, what does Martin do when you feint at him?" You know what I mean? What does he do? And like people were like analyzing, like, oh, see, like he puts his guard up this way and he retreats and he goes this way or he turns it. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty specific how y'all getting into it. But yeah, man, I think Davis definitely won the pre-fight. So y'all know, Davis got into some legal trouble, in the last year or so. And so it's been 14 months since he last fought. His last fight was the Ryan Garcia knockout, where he knocked this man out on a body punch. And so 14 months. So it's a long layoff especially for a young fighter, because fighters usually fight every 5, 6, 7 months, 8 months usually at the longest. But it's been 14 months since he's been in the ring. So a lot of people felt like there was some rust that he was gonna have to get off. And people were excited about Frank Martin. Frank Martin came into this fight undefeated, but when people were really looking at Frank Martin's record, he had some wins over some like winless opponents. Like he had some wins against a lot of guys that weren't that good. So like he's even though he's a professional, he's kind of not really. This is his biggest fight. This is probably the best opponent that he's ever gone against. And the announcers kept touting his athleticism, right? He's like, oh, he's athletic, he's athletic. And from the gate, so the fight starts, and we get a lot of that athleticism. We get a lot of that athleticism. So Frank Martin looked good, man. Frank Martin looked poised, he looked strong, and he was taking it to Tank in a sense, right? He was throwing the most punches, right? He was throwing a lot of punches and he was landing more punches. So, but what was telling in that fight was the fact that, like, even though Tank was not the aggressor, he was the aggressor because he kept cutting this man off at the ring. He kept walking Frank Martin down. Like he kept walking him down. He's lining him up. He's walking down. He was taking some shots though. He was getting hit, and it made it look competitive. It made it look interesting. But he was the aggressor. He made Frank Martin back down so much. Like, and Frank was getting he was getting his jab off. He has this nice like triple jab that he was throwing. He was following it up, and then he would get out of there. He was getting out of there. But like from the rip, I was like, oh, he is athletic. Like he can get out of harm's way if he needs to, but he was doing a lot of moving. He was going from one side of the ring to the next. He was even getting caught in corners, which I felt like that was foreshadowing. It was like, yo, you keep playing in these corners, that's gonna be where you get laid out. That's what's gonna happen. That's gonna be your demise. So he was doing that. He was doing that. So the first three rounds, I mean, on the cards, a lot of people had Martin winning on the cards because Tank wasn't really throwing. Like he was throwing a little bit, but he wasn't throwing. And then stuff starts to heat up a little bit. So I remember, I think, fourth round on, I think Tank started to close the gap a little bit. So Tank started getting comfortable, and he started letting them shots fly. I mean, he started letting his jab off. He started connecting with the left, and he was getting active. But Martin was doing a good job of exchanging, because there was times where Tank would hit him with something, and then Martin would come back, and he would hit Tank with some lefts and some shots and getting the jab in there. So it looked really competitive. It looked really competitive, but then you could tell like Tank was getting comfortable. He was getting more and more comfortable as the fight went on. And again, he was the aggressor. He was letting Martin tire himself out. Like Martin was gassed and fatigued after that, by the end of that fight. And as it went on, he's starting to feel Martin's starting to feel Tank's power, because Tank is laying some lefts on him, and he's letting him know, like, yo, this, remember, I'm the champ. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do this. I like, don't forget, I do this. And that's kind of how it went. And again, there was just some exchanges where Martin was getting caught in the corner. And by the sixth round, you felt like, yo, Tank is gonna knock this guy out. Like when is it coming? When is it coming? And again, he's walking him down, and Martin is playing defense. And it was funny, because although I was rooting for Tank, like I wanted Tank to win, I felt myself like being like Martin's trainer. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was in his corner at times, and I was just like, yo, stop letting him walk you down, bro. Like, you have to step up. Like, you don't want to have a blow for blow exchange with Tank, right? You don't want to do that, but like, you're hitting Tank with some stuff that's making him play some defense, right? So like, you sometimes you gotta fight in that phone booth, right? You gotta go toe to toe with a guy a little bit, especially if he's backing you up, you know, majority of the fight. If he's backing up the majority of the fight, there's got to be some times where you stand up, and you got to stop him, and you got to make him retreat a little bit. I don't think we didn't really see Tank take a step back the entire fight. Like, he every now and then, if he got hit, but he would get hit, and then he would still walk him down. And so, man, it was seventh round was big for Tank. We're getting him into the corner, and then the eighth round came. Eighth round came. And Frank Martin, he must have been tired. You know what I mean? Frank Martin said in the post interview that he felt he got too comfortable. He felt like he got too comfortable. And I think he realized, like, I cannot keep moving this way, because this is wearing me down. It's wearing me down. So like, he was taking like some break, because yeah, there was early on in the fight, he got caught in the corner, and he was catching Tank with some counters, whatever. And I think he thought like, oh, this is what I could do. But I think that Tank was just gathering the data, was like, all right, this is what he does. Like, I'm gonna take some of these shots, but this is what this man does when I get him in the corner. So that's what happened, man. And there was just an exchange in the eighth round where Tank literally had this man pinned in the corner. Like, he's connecting, and he had him pinned in the corner, and you could just see like Tank, like Martin looked like he was like cowering down, and Tank was just holding him punches, and he was just like boom, boom, like calling his shots. He was boom, boom, and then he caught him with a 1-2 uppercut. That uppercut is really what put Martin to sleep. Like, the uppercut is what hurt him, because basically Martin, after he caught him with the 1-2 with the uppercut, Martin was just kind of like stuck. Like, he was stuck. He was like suspended in air, or whatever. And then Tank called it. He said, yeah. Then I had to give him the brick punch, brick hand. I had to give him brick hand, and then the way he laid Martin out, right, on that punch, after he had him dazed with that uppercut, which I really feel like the uppercut was really like almost like the knockout punch. But like, when he caught him with the brick hand, that was the cleanup. That was the cleanup. And the way Martin's body like fell and moved it, yeah, like, what my man said, yo, it looked like he got shot, like, because he just caught him dead in his shit, and then my man's body turned, and like, it was just like, and yo, me and my boy Uncle Rob, like, our eyes got so big, and we was like, god damn, like, and you knew it was over. Like, it wasn't, no, because Martin hit his head, hit the back of the, bottom of the canvas, and you could just tell it was over. Like, the fight was over. The fight was over. And it was no question. Tank knew it was over. Once he gave him that brick hand, my man went on the ropes, started hopping on the ropes. You know what I'm saying? He was like, he got him. And it wasn't no, he didn't get up. It wasn't no standing count or anything like that. It was done. Like he laid him out. And so Tank Davis, man, remains undefeated. All of his wins except for one are by way of knockout. So he is an assassin, right? He's a hitman for sure. His knockout rate is crazy. So then it begs the question, like, who in that division, who can really fuck with him, right? Because we seen us like Martin was better than advertised. I think Martin, he's a real. I think he actually is a really good fighter, and he does have a future. He's gonna be one of them guys. He might get a belt at some point. He's gonna be one of them champions or good fighters that has like one or two losses on his belt, but he's gonna be. I think he has a bright future still. Sometimes, when you get knocked out though, that it changes the game for people. So not everybody recovers from a knockout. So we'll see kind of where that goes. But in terms of the division, you got Shakur Stevenson there. I mean, that's probably somebody that should probably get a shot. Lomachenko is lingering around there. You know what I mean? So that's somebody he could fight. Will he fight Devin Haney? Even though Devin Haney has to kind of come back from his loss. The only other guy that really gave Davis real competition was Pitbull. So like, will he fight? Will he do a rematch with that guy? I'm not too sure, but like Tank is the king of his division for sure, and rightfully so. And I mean, but then you still got good fighters like Ryan Garcia is still a really good fighter. I mean, and we seen the way he did away with Haney. Like there's a lot of competition still in that division. Tank does get some criticism for not necessarily fighting the best guys or kind of waiting. But I said this before. He learned that from his mentor. He learned that from Mayweather. Mayweather was good at picking his fights when he was ready to fight these guys. You know what I'm saying? He didn't let the promoters and all this type of stuff and narratives and the media, he doesn't let them dictate who he's gonna fight. So hopefully, we'll see Tank again before the end of the year. I got to kind of watch some videos to see who they think he's gonna fight next. I think we're gonna get Crawford fight pretty soon, or soon enough. The Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight ain't gonna happen until like November now. So I'm interested to see what we get the rest of this summer. But boxing is on a high right now. Like boxing, they have a lot of momentum right now. So it's best if they keep that momentum going, and we see who what's gonna be the next big matchup. I'm waiting to see, but I'm gonna be checking it out, and you'll get a recap or some analysis from me for sure once that next fight is announced and we get to watch that. So shout out to the world of boxing, man, because it's on fire right now, doing real well. And then I guess one last thing, another topic before we go. Like I said, we want to keep this somewhat short. Oh, this was interesting to me, and I wonder how y'all feel about this. All right, there's been a bill that got passed not that long ago. So the House of Representatives has passed a measure that automatically registers men aged 18 to 26 for selective service. This measure is included in the annual National Defense Authorization Act, or the NDAA, which outlines the U.S. government's military and national security priorities for the next fiscal year. Although the draft hasn't been invoked in over half a century, it is mandatory for all male U.S. citizens to register for selective service when they turn 18. Failure to do so is classified as a felony and comes with various legal challenges. By using available federal databases, the Selective Service Agency will be able to register all of the individuals required and thus help ensure that any future military draft is fair and equitable. And this was somebody that said that during a debate last month, according to Defense News. So yeah, man. And this headline comes right after, like, I seen something where like Putin is like calling us an enemy, like basically like because we've been helping out Ukraine, And so like we're in their crosshairs. Even though I don't Russia can't fuck with us. Like let's keep it a buck. Like they not really fucking with us if push came to shove. However, you know what I mean? This news comes right after that. So one thing is about this is that it's saying if you avoid it, it's a felony. I think back in the day, because we didn't have like these crazy databases and a lot of stuff was on paper, like it was probably easier to draft, like to dodge the draft. You know what I mean? Like people, you wouldn't sign shit. You know what I mean? Stuff came in the mail, it's stuff like that. I, it's weird how selective service works because I remember when I was 18 and like I think it was like when I was like doing stuff for college or even doing stuff for my license, like they have all these different measures to where like it's just a checkbox. You know what I mean? Because we don't read who reads terms and conditions, right? Like a lot of times you're just selecting stuff. And so like it's gonna be a lot more seamless. It's gonna be a lot more seamless than it's ever been before. But like, yeah, like even people that are like about to be 18 or even the people that are in that range, and if you're saying like, oh, I ain't gonna do it, I ain't gonna do it, it's like you don't even realize you already probably checked the box and probably hit accept and you didn't even realize it, right? Because that's what they're doing. That's kind of how that works. So like, yeah, a military draft. Now again, they said we haven't had to use this in half a century, so the last time we used it was the Vietnam War. And it's funny because I just was watching Forrest Gump with my son, and that's the big thing with the Vietnam War is like probably is one of the wars that we lost. I mean, as the United States, we lost it in terms of public opinion, right? Because nobody really supported that war, but we lost because so many people got drafted for the Vietnam War. So many people that did not want to be in that war were in that war. And so, although I understand the importance of a draft in a sense, but like but I feel like it's bad business. And it doesn't bode well when you have a lot of soldiers that are like hypothetically that will go there that don't want to be there. Like, and that's kind of what the Vietnam War was. It was a lot of people that were there that did not want to be there, that did not choose to be there, that was selected because um Forrest, like, and talking about Forrest Gump, and that's fictional, but Forrest was drafted, Bubba was drafted, and these are guys that they didn't necessarily sign up for that, and they might not, they probably weren't necessarily fit for it. Now, Forrest Gump, talk about Forrest Gump, he was definitely a war hero. My man was going in the trenches and carrying all his comrades back. He carried like 4 or 5 people back to safety. So he definitely did his thing, and he was fit to be there. But again, you get a lot of people that don't want to be there, and then so then it turns into almost like this anti-military sentiment because it's like you got families and you got people mourning the losses of their loved ones who, again, are people that probably shouldn't have been there or wouldn't have chosen to be there in the first place. Shout out, I'm glad I'm past that draft. Like that's a pretty specific window, 18 to 26. I'm past that window. And probably what I do like in terms of my career and stuff like that. I think I would probably be able to get exemptions and things like that and avoid it, not necessarily draft dodge, but like I'm probably in a position where like, I'm more important to be on American soil doing my thing as opposed to being out there. But like I'm grateful. I am grateful for my age at this point because I'm like, well, I ain't gotta worry about that shit. But um, it is what it is. It is kind of unfortunate, but like for anybody that's thinking like, oh, I ain't doing this, or I'm gonna dodge this, whatever. Well, yeah, I mean, you could probably try to dodge them when they already on your ass, but like you most likely, because it's a felony just not to select it, but like you probably already did it and you don't even realize it. It might have been even a part of like some of your employment with certain jobs. So man, that's it's kind of scary. If we get to that point where we would need a draft, but and I do understand the importance of it, but it's not good. It's not good. Anything else? Anything else? Do we got anything else? Nothing that no, nothing that I need to talk about. No, nothing that I need to talk about. Song of the summer. What do you think song of the summer is? What do you think song of the summer is? I ain't gonna lie, I've been out a little bit, right, in the last couple weeks. And I don't fuck with Sexy Red, but that Get It Sexy, when that joint come on, that joint, it got the club going crazy, right? It got the club going crazy. So I would say, Get It Sexy is probably a front runner. Yeah, Glow. When I was out in DC a couple weeks ago, yeah, they kept playing Yeah Glow. I mean, Not Like Us is up there. I mean, like, and that because that one spans different generations. You like because you got little kids that go crazy for that. So Not Like Us, Yeah Glow, Get It Sexy. Those are front runners. I like that Tyler Jump. I mean, that's a good one. I don't know why this ain't getting promoted. I think Outside, Bryson Tiller's Outside, that should be the song of the summer. Like that's the vibe for me. Like I feel like that is a summer song. The beat is infectious. It's the hook is incredible. The breakdown is even better. Like that's a song. So like if anything's gonna be song of the summer, I want it to be Outside. I'm not mad if you say Get It Sexy, like if that's what's gonna be a song of the summer. Cause it do get you. I don't know what the hell she's saying in the song, but that beat come on and that breakdown, that hook, get it sexy, get it sexy, like it's going crazy. It got everybody going crazy and well deserved though, well deserved. Other than that, Chris Brown is on tour right now, and everybody is up in arms about his meet and greets. And here's the thing, man, meet and greets have been around for a long time, right? Like this is not nothing new. Like every artist has some type of VIP meet and greet type session. For whatever reason, Chris Browns are getting publicized. One for their cost, and then also because of what people are choosing to do when they meet him and like they're taking pictures. So, obviously he has the freaky ones. You got women that want their ass grabbed and they wanna hump on him and they want him to do all type of crazy stuff. Um, the women though, and again, this is a bad like this. It's like a debate on who's thirstier, who's more thirsty, and it's still the women. The women are definitely more thirsty because I'm hearing women saying, "Well, for $1,000, I better get fucked." You know what I mean? He better have sex with me. I better have a baby on the way. No like yeah, they're saying crazy stuff. So it's like all right, y'all taking it a little bit too far with the thirst. But there was a picture that came out where it was a man and he took the picture and he did, and a woman commented, it was like, oh, y'all criticizing women for taking these pictures, but then you got this man over here wanting to be a Power Ranger. And so y'all gotta hold this L. And here's the thing: I'm gonna shoot him some bail. First off, if this man has the money to pay for that, who cares? I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. Second, he seems like a real fan. Like he seems like he must know that he like I could picture Chris Brown being into some Dragon Ball Z, and this fan probably knows that Chris Brown is into Dragon Ball Z. So he what first off, the men were in the comments. It was like, oh, he's not trying to be a Power Ranger, which yeah, y'all could hold that L because it wasn't Power Ranger type of thing. It was the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance, right? And I can picture because Chris Brown is an actual dancer. I could picture him if they had like video footage of it, like he's doing the actual fusion dance, and then they fuse. So like I just thought it was dope. It looked like an iconic little picture, you know what I'm saying? And you got Chris Brown doing the fusion dance with you. Now, would I do it? Would I pay $1,100 to meet a celebrity? Probably not, right? So, but it doesn't make he's not. There's no thirst involved in that. That's just fandom. And again, people pay lots of money to see and do a lot of crazy things. The resale, even just the resale tickets. Sometimes even if you're not doing a meet and greet, some of these resale tickets are costing $1,100. So like if you got to pay $1,100 just to go to the concert, and then you get a meet and greet, and people are paying 1,100 to be, maybe on the floor, but like being in row like 26, maybe that meet and greet is worth it then. You know what I'm saying? But there's no thirst involved in what that young man was doing. But I could see how women they trying to make the comparison. My problem is with the women being freaky and the thirst is like, how many of those women paid for their ticket in full, right? How many of them women, yeah, I mean, had their boyfriends, husbands, spouses of any type baby fun. How many of them had those men fund that for them? Because if I'm paying for your ticket, like, you're not doing none of that dumb shit. Like, you're not doing that crazy. Like, that's a bad look. That's a bad look. And we even see some headlines where people have been breaking up. Like, men have been breaking up with their girls because of this. And there was a woman that's like, I bought my own ticket, and who cares, and whatever. So it's like, all right, if y'all want to have that attitude, that's fine. But like, just know that, like, man, we can't get this off. Like, sure, and it's not about the price of the ticket. It's about the thirst. Like, one, it'll be damn near sexual assault if you try to. One, there's not gonna be too many female artists that want to get that close to a man. Like, if I mean, and like in their meet and greets, they're not allowing themselves to take pictures like that. Like, you can't do a meet and greet with Beyonce and get behind her and grab her ass. I know that off the rip, you can't do that. Like, that wouldn't be a part of it. You probably can't even touch her, to be honest. You probably can barely shake her hand. And so, like, that's where there's a disparity here. Like, some of y'all are acting like true groupies. You could be a fan. You could be the biggest Chris Brown fan, but like, you gotta do it with some taste, because some of y'all are wilding out here. But what do you think, man? What do you think? How you feel? How you feel about just the climate of the country right now? Again, we got the government passing bills to make people go into drafts, right? NBA Finals. We got some boxing, right? And then Song of the Summer. What you think, man? Who's the Song of the Summer? And are you going to the next Chris Brown show? I mean, I know right now he's kind of on the East Coast right now. I know Philly's coming up. I think they just had a Jersey show. They just had one in Brooklyn at the Barclays. Probably Baltimore. So the East Coast right now, like our region, it's where he's at. So like, if you're going, this is why I say I went to a Chris Brown concert 2 years ago. It was 2 years, and I talked about it here. He's the greatest performer I've ever seen in person. Like, Chris Brown is worth whatever you paid for the ticket. I'm gonna say that he's worth every penny. I never seen Beyonce, obviously, so I know Beyonce's up there, but Chris Brown male performers, he's probably the best. He's probably the best in the business right now. And so, like, if you are going to Chris Brown, you're gonna get a good show, and I'm happy for you, and I love that for you, though. So, but yo, I gotta go, man. I gotta catch some sun, man. I gotta get on this beach, man. I gotta get on this road, and hopefully, man, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week, and y'all enjoy y'all summer. As of now, summer doesn't officially start till this weekend, right? So like, we this is still pregame for summer, but 4th of July is coming right before you know it. And it's gonna get hotter. The days are still getting longer. We about to get the solstice. We about to get that longest day pretty soon. And man, hopefully y'all stay safe out here. Stay hydrated. Keep looking good. Get out in that. I mean, if you're going to a pool party, get in that fucking water. Stop acting like you too good to get in that water. But I love y'all, man. This is episode 153 of the 280 Plus podcast. If you're still watching, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, chime in, leave a comment, and then again, share the content if you know anybody that's into what I'm talking about. But this is episode 153. I'm Lowe's Def, and I'm out. Peace.